Marissa's day began with a dull, unrelenting ache pulsing through her head. The fluorescent lights of the office felt like knives behind her eyes, and the constant buzz of ringing phones and clattering keyboards only worsened the pain. More than anything, she wished she could be far away, maybe beside a cool, winding river or on a quiet, sun-kissed beach. She imagined the gentle waves lapping at the shore, the sunlight warming her bare shoulders, and the soothing breeze caressing her skin. The fantasy offered a brief moment of calm, but she had little time to indulge in it. Her boss was waiting for the quarterly report. Marissa was his most reliable employee. Meticulous, punctual, and unfailingly composed. Everyone in the office knew it. She wasn't just a valued worker. She was the boss's unofficial right hand. But this unspoken status came with a weight few saw. It brought no peace, only pressure. She carried the weight of responsibility like a stone strapped to her back. Just as she rubbed her temples and prepared to refocus, the door to her office opened. Her assistant Abby appeared, looking slightly awkward. "There's a visitor, ma'am. She says it's personal." Marissa blinked in confusion. "A visitor? I'm not expecting anyone." "All right, let her in." She straightened in her chair, ran a quick hand through her hair, and slipped her feet back into the shoes she'd kicked off under the desk to ease her headache. A moment later, a woman entered, likely in her mid-20s, with sharp eyes and a defiant posture. "I'm Jessica," the young woman said, staring directly at Marissa. "I came to ask you to leave Zachary alone." For a few seconds, Marissa didn't respond. The headache seemed to freeze. Then she replied, voice calm but laced with incredulity. "I beg your pardon. Why would I leave my own husband?" Jessica's expression hardened. "Because you're holding him back. He's only staying with you out of pity. You're not young anymore." "But Zachary loves me." Marissa narrowed her eyes slightly, but her face remained composed. Jessica, however, wasn't finished. Her words came faster, her breath more ragged with emotion. "I'm an orphan," she blurted. "And I fell in love with him. And he loves me too. But he's stuck because of you. You claim to be sick or something, right? So he can't leave without looking like a monster. He's torn up inside. And besides," she paused dramatically, "I'm pregnant." The words echoed in Marissa's mind like a gunshot in a cave. Jessica's voice rose so sharply that it carried through the office walls. "Don't be selfish. Don't make the baby grow up without a father. You're already too old to keep a man like him. Let him go." Marissa stared at the girl, stunned, not just by the nerve but by the irony. A bitter smile crept onto her lips. "Well," she said, "today's our 10-year anniversary. I must say, your little announcement is a hell of a gift." Jessica, confused by Marissa's unexpectedly cool reaction, shifted on her feet. "Don't worry," Marissa added dryly. "I'll talk to my husband tonight. Clearly, it's time for me to check into a nursing home and let the young lovers be free." With that, she turned away. Jessica hesitated, then left, visibly unsure of whether she'd won or lost. When the door closed, Marissa leaned back in her chair, closed her eyes, and let the silence settle around her. The ache in her head had dulled, overshadowed by something else. She and Zachary had been married for a decade. Early on, children weren't a priority. Both were devoted to their careers. But a few years ago they finally agreed to try. When nothing happened, Marissa assumed stress was to blame. Then she insisted they get tested. Just yesterday she had picked up the results. Zachary was infertile. So Jessica's dramatic announcement had unexpectedly amused her. There was no way Zachary could be the father. A strange sense of clarity came over her. That evening, citing illness, she left the office early and went home. She barely had time to take off her coat before Zachary spoke. "We need to talk." "Yes," she said calmly. "Jessica visited me today. You know about her. She told me I'm too old for you. Said I should let you go. Oh, and she's pregnant. How charming." Zachary looked guilty, but not ashamed. "Marissa. Sorry. I didn't mean for any of this to happen." But I wasn't going to leave you. Jessica is young, naive. She didn't mean to upset you. I'll make her apologize. That was the moment Marissa's temper flared. She came to my office, Zachary. Do you hear yourself? You cheated on me and sent your mistress to confront me like a villain in some bad soap opera. Please, he pleaded. Don't throw everything away. I love you. She stared at him coldly. Then you should have remembered that before crawling into bed with a liar. When he didn't move, she snapped. Pack your things. Now. Zachary, stunned, obeyed. As he stood at the threshold with his bag, he tried one last time. Marissa, can't we talk this through? I've said everything I need to say. You have a baby on the way, don't you? Go play house. He sighed, muttered something and turned to leave. But Marissa called after him and held out an envelope. Here, she said. Read this. Carefully. She shut the door in his face. Moments later, she heard frantic shouting in the hallway. Marissa! What is this? What does it mean? She didn't open the door. Ask Jessica, she called back. Let her explain who the father is. When she heard the elevator ding and the building grow quiet, Marissa felt a momentary pang of sympathy. But it passed. She was too exhausted to care anymore. That night, she curled up under a blanket in the guest room and cried. For the years lost, for the betrayal, and for the woman she had once been. 12 years ago, she had met Zachary by chance on a busy street. He was a nervous, awkward med student who had knocked a box of files out of her hands. She'd helped him build confidence, supported him through medical school, and watched him grow into a charming, successful doctor. Her friends envied her. They thought she had it all. They were wrong. The next week, her boss, sensing something had shifted, ordered her to take a break and booked her a trip by the sea. At first, Marissa did nothing but lie on the beach, letting the waves and sun numb her pain. But eventually, boredom nudged her to look around. That's when she noticed him. A young man in his 20s, laughing as he ran toward the water, splashing like a carefree child. He played with the kids on the beach, threw handfuls of water in the air, and shouted with joy. He looked ridiculous. And yet, something about his freedom fascinated her. That night, she saw him again at the bar. He waved when he noticed her, but she sat far away. Still he approached. Hi, he said gently. Mind if I join you? His name was Cameron. He told her he'd never seen the sea before. After high school, he'd gone straight to work at his father's garage. His parents had sent him here as a gift for his 25th birthday. Despite herself, Marissa felt drawn in. She didn't brag about her life. For once, she just listened. They talked, they laughed, they drank, and eventually they ended up in bed. Marissa was shocked by how fulfilled she felt. Not just physically but emotionally. Cameron's sincerity, his warmth, his openness. It was something she hadn't realized she'd been craving. By morning, reality returned. Marissa quietly left while Cameron slept, not wanting to complicate things. As the taxi pulled away, tears streamed down her face. She didn't know if they were for him, for herself, or for the life she thought she had. Back home, she threw herself into work. But every night, her thoughts drifted back to Cameron. His smile, his laughter, his honesty. She tried dating again, but the men she met felt hollow in comparison. None of them had that spark. Zachary, now alone, tried to crawl back into her life. He even confessed that Jessica wasn't an orphan, just a manipulative liar. Please, Marissa. We were so good together. Let's start over. But Marissa had already started over. In her own way. And she wasn't looking back.